The Chinder Chanker Nagger! Yes! We got it!
Completely on accident, and I have never, ever, ever used the term to describe a human being in my entire life. I said the worst fucking thing you could ever say. I said the worst thing.
Wrong. That's actually the second worst thing that you've ever said. The first worst thing that you've ever said is that Street Fighter 6 is a good game. Once again, you have proven yourself, along with many other reviewers, to be a Capcom shill. Street Fighter 6 is being disingenuously shilled by a bunch of individuals who are associated with Capcom. This is sounding very familiar to another review that I did, by the way, and it's even by the exact same people. From now on, you will be branded. You will be known as the Capcucks. It's completely obvious that they worship Capcom. They even tried to attach this new moniker, Cap God, to Capcom. Literal worship.
Capcom was kind of known as being the Cap Gods. Resident Evil 4 Remake is now looking to be one of the best-selling Resident Evil games and is fucking awesome. I think we've hit a Cap God status, absolutely.
Say that I was part of Street Fighter 6's marketing campaign. This video is not an ad in any way. Not an ad, not an ad, not an ad, not an ad.
This is hands down the ugliest that Street Fighter has ever been. The models, the character models in this game are comparable to the models in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I actually think that the models in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite are better looking. Street Fighter has always had some sort of like distinct style in almost every single one of their games. The models in this game look like first draft models, and there's just something really wrong with the characters' faces. Not to mention the actual redesigns themselves are shit. They just look like they're blatantly aimed and like pandering towards like the Twitter audience, as well as just the redesigns for the older characters just flat out don't look like they suit them very well. I didn't think it was possible, but they made an RE Engine game that was uglier than the RE4 remake. All the women in this game look like men. And some of them are just literally you-know-whats. And notice how none of the reviewers in this game can actually point out what visually looks good about this game. They all just say it looks good. You know, this is that type of language is typically because they're lying. They can't actually say what looks good or what looks bad about it. They just say it's realistic looking.
They literally named this bitch Manon.
This new Street Fighter promises to bring a new experience and a better single player sort of version to the franchise, but let's just be honest here. Fighting game single player modes have always suffered from just being uninteresting and boring, and this one is really no different. It's just because it's repetitive, it's boring, and the AI in these games, you know, they either cheat or they're just really stupid and exploitable, and there's really no in between, and this game is no different. Capcom's solution to this problem was to add just this like boring hub world that's filled with lifeless NPCs to grind experience against. I mean, it's comparable to like Yakuza, but with no soul and with no real gameplay. You can make your own character, I guess, and like the character customization, but I can guarantee you that nobody online is going to want to play your creative character as they have like 3 fucking health bars and do like triple the damage of everyone else. That's never going to happen. I always think that trying those features in these fighting games is cool as like a little gimmick, but they never were really interesting or have any lasting gameplay appeal. The gameplay in this game has, I mean, you thought it couldn't get any worse and more simplified and bad than Street Fighter V, but it has been simplified yet again to become baby's first fighting game mode. And I'm not talking about the control scheme stuff. I don't think that there's anything that I can say that can tell you how bad the mashing is in this new game. It's easier for me to just show how bad it is and how easy it is to do these new combos, because it has just been watered down to something even worse than it was before. And other than that, I mean, these games are basically glorified just balance updates. So if you want me to talk about something new for the gameplay system, there's a new drive system, but all you need to know about it is that it's just another dumb gimmick. It's like V-Trigger, And you know, that's pretty much it. It's just a glorified gimmick with a balance update. The iconic Street Fighter music has also been tossed aside for like jungle beats. Everything is this like neo rap. This is just completely forgettable. Like, no one's gonna remember the music for this at all. The sound design and the art design and the music design has just seemingly followed the path that's been laid out by every other big budget title. Just plays it safe, doesn't have any sort of character at all, is very generic, which it's funny how now with all this technology they still can't come up with something unique or some sort of new way to implement some sort of style into the game. Similar to Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's also got Day 1 DLC with pre-planned character passes as well as a Ultimate Edition which costs $105. So pay up. This could have been a moment to restore faith and show everyone that we aren't just taking mo-capped animations and whatever and putting them in our new fighting game. They could have really shown everyone what this new engine is capable of stylistically, instead of just this awful lighting, awful character models. But unfortunately, they thought it would be a better use of their resources to pay Lil Wayne and the Xenair to advertise their game. And you want to know who else needs to return to their roots? Maximilian Dood, you need to return to your roots.
I'm racist as fuck.
Yes! We got it!
And start talking about the Chinder Chagger you know what. And you know what? LTG was right about your wife.
If you're not black, you should not be mixing with Asians.
Especially ones that look like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter 6 gets a 2 out of 10. It is complete shit and not worth playing at all.
I totally want to suck some black cock. Just saying. I'm so high.